2024, the first year of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Girls State Wrestling Tournament. And I couldn't think of a better winner to start off the series because we're going to meet with all 13 girls that won the individual state championship. And in doing so, our guest here today become the first state wrestling champion for her high school. So, ma'am, if you would, tell us who you are.
My name's Naomi Santiago, and I'm from Henderson County High School.
And you became the first wrestling state champion for the Colonels of Henderson County.
Yes,
as of this filming. It was last Saturday on February 17th. I was there. I was on the officiating crew getting to officiate that tournament. There was 10 of us, and as soon as the way that our referee seats were, as soon as you ladies come off the podium, I was stopping everybody. Hey, I want to do a review video. I want to do it because I wanted to document all 13 for the historical aspect, because it was the first boys state tournament was in 1964, and we have been able to find videos, the full video of the 1969 state tournament, and we're still efforting to find as many videos as we can. But I didn't want this historical event to go by with the technology that we have. Everybody had their phones out filming. We know there's enough video to go around. So with the platform that we have and the historical aspect, I was like, I've got to interview all 13 of the girls that won just to have, because you ladies have got something going. You have created an entire new sport, the demand for what you girls have been able to do. So talk us through, how do you find wrestling? What gets you into the sport?
As in, like, myself?
Yeah, like what's the spark, if you will, that you see it, you run into it, whatever, that you're like, man, I got to try this. What am I missing out on here?
So when I first started wrestling, I thought wrestling was just WWE. That's just what I thought. I didn't know that there was this kind of wrestling. And when I started, I remember I was in math class in Miss Lowe's class, and I heard on the intercom if you wanted to join the wrestling team to head down to the gym. So I go down there in my mind thinking this is WWE. And I signed the papers, I put my name down, and then I walk into my first practice, and I talked to Coach Pointer, and I said, "Where's the ring at?" And he goes, "This is not WWE." And so I just started doing it, and I fell in love with the sport. And I think it was more of the coaching aspect that I had and the support that I had that it really made me fall in love with it more.
I understand. And you said you were in, was it 8th grade? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, 8th grade. Now I guess that would have been what, 2019-ish?
Yes, 2019.
Okay.
It was right before COVID. Yeah.
I got you. And of course, you're talking about your coaches, Coach Hogan, and of course, Brandon Cole. Got to meet Brandon. I know I've been talking to him on Facebook for a while. Finally got to run into him at state duels, and then at the boys state, got to run into him. And of course, you'll see the coaching desire, the coaching aspect of Henderson County in one of your matches we're getting ready to watch. So you come in as an 8th grader, you learn real quick. It's not, jumping off the ropes and all that kind of stuff. What keeps you invested in it? Like, what keeps you going all the way through school thinking, man, I really like this?
I would say it was, let me think of how to say this. It was the one of always wanting more.
I got you.
Like, every win feels different, and like I wanted more of it. Like there was nothing like the excitement of when you step on the mat, like the nerves and everything. But once you're out there, it just like all goes away. And it was just the one of wanting more and wanting to know more and being more around it and wanting to get better, that I just wanted to keep doing it.
I understand. And of course, you have on a shirt there, and I think it says keep calm in the lion's den.
Yes, that's
And
what it says right here. Yeah.
I'm sure that has I was gonna say, I think that's the book of Daniel, if I'm not mistaken, the biblical story. So I'm sure there's a very specific reason that you're wearing that. If you would tell us the meaning behind that shirt.
So for the longest time, Coach Cole would always tell us to always keep calm in the lion's den, and I never really understood it until we had the state not the state tournament. We had an individual tournament at our high school, and I don't know why I got so nervous before I wrestled, and Coach Cole went out there and he was like, "We keep calm in the lion's den," and he was like, "You got this." And then after I wrestled, I thought about what he said to me, and I texted him later on that night, and I was like, I finally understand what that means. And I was so nervous to go out there, but when I calmed myself down, I went out there and I wrestled, and it was fine. And that's when I kind of understood what the shirt meant and how powerful of a saying it actually is.
Yeah, that's a great mentality to have, especially if you've never, which I'm sure your video is going to bring new people to the channel, but if you've never competed in a combative setting or a combative sport, or even in some type of real life self-defense situation, is you can't blame the quarterback for a bad pass. You can't blame the point guard for throwing it to the wrong player or double dribble or whatever. If you don't win,
it's on
there's
you.
about a 99.8% chance it's your fault. Now, every now and then that 0.2 is something crazy, but like I said, 99.8%, and that's on the low end. It's something that you done. Whether your technique wasn't good enough, you didn't have the strength, you just wasn't in shape enough, or somebody was just better on that day. I leave a slight less than 0.2% for the referee. I got to stand up for my referee crew, but it's true that it's you and the other person. And if you can't harness those emotions, because I couldn't tell you how many times over the years, just finished up my 18th season of doing this, that you'll see, whether it's a boy or girl, man or woman, whatever, that look the part. They could have look like they're chiseled out of granite, or come in with all these accolades behind their name, but nobody's ever seen them, and they can't control their emotions, and they get took down, or something happens, and they just completely implode. They just quit. They give up. They don't know how to handle it. And I mean, I have no plans on ever being in a lion's den. I mean, I don't think that's something, that would ever happen to me. But I can see staying calm when you've got a bunch of hungry lions trying to eat you. Hey, what's your problem over there, Mr. Lion? I ain't got no issues with you. You know what I mean? You know what's good for you, you'll go over and lay down. So you come into high school, and the girls' state tournament is a thing, but it's sanctioned by the Coaches Association, which kudos to everybody involved. We're not going to start naming names. We don't want to leave anybody off, but there was a few people that really dug their heels in and really made the girls' state tournament something that was credible. And everybody participated. Everybody had a girls' team, I should say, participated. It wasn't just one pocket of the state. It wasn't just Lexington, Louisville, Northern Kentucky. It was everybody participated. And it meant something. They awarded, I should say, a team championship, individual medals, individual state champions. It's like a sanctioned KHSAA event. And I believe the 2023 Girls State Tournament, you come in 6th, correct?
Yes.
And I believe, and most of the time, women are real protective of their weight. You never really ask a woman what their weight class. Hey, what weight class you in? And you're probably going to get slapped in the face. But with wrestling, that's something that we just have to say is weight classes. Yes. And it's according to Track Wrestling, in the 2023 season, you had a 21-7 record, which is pretty daggone good. You were in the 165-pound weight class, but 6th place, maybe not the result that you wanted, but at least you're still getting the medal. At least you're still saying, okay. And we kind of got the wink and the nod that the KHSAA was going to sanction girls wrestling for the upcoming season. So when you get the notification, when you see it on social media or coaches, whoever tell you that the KHSAA has adopted the sport of girls wrestling and we're going to have a true state tournament and it's going to be held in the same venue as the boys, are you like, I'm nervous, I can't wait to get there, I don't know if I can handle the crowd? What's going through the thought process?
I was excited, and immediately once I heard the news, I was like, I'm going to win. Immediately once I heard the news, I was like, I have to win it. Like, I have to make history. That goes back to always wanting more. Like, I always wanted more, you know? And last year when I placed sixth, it was very devastating for me because that's not what I wanted. Right. But it made me want to work harder. And so when I found out that we were sanctioned, I was like, it's go time. We're placing and we're winning it and we're taking it all, you know?
I understand that. I completely, and when we put it out, of course, this channel, the YouTube channel and everything that we've been able to do with this has kind of gave the sport of Kentucky wrestling a platform, if you will. I've said it in other videos. Kentucky high school wrestling is the most accessible, the most viewed, if there's a positive algorithm on YouTube, Kentucky wrestling is it. This channel, what we've been able to do, it's taken everybody. Yes, this may be, me sitting in front of the camera for all the videos, doing the editing, trying to get everything lined up, whatever. But it's really taken a community. People finding videos, making friends with coaches to get people like yourself lined up. And when we put out the notice, or put out the press release, I should say, like, I don't even know what I put it out there. I was like, girls wrestling is now sanctioned. And I laid my phone down or something, went and done something. I come back like 30 minutes later and it had like 100 shares already. I was like, what in the world? What's going on here? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe and so many teams had shared it. People that I know that have girls, like, I can't wait till, little so-and-so gets in high school and she can have her own tournament. And I was like, all right, that's great. That's great. Then when I got the notice that I was getting to officiate the girls, I was like, this is so poetic that getting to be on the crew, getting to be officiating the first Girls State tournament. And just for the historical aspect, I mean, it was so much fun on that Saturday to get to do it. And it was something that we can always look back on and say, this was the first. This was dust and all, horse dander and all, dirty mats and all. I mean, you know how it goes. You were there. You wrestled on it. And we'd sanitize the mats in the mornings and you'd look up. An hour later, and it'd be like you could write your name in the dirt from the floor below. So it's kind of cool that, we have it at the horse park. I think we got some insider baseball knowledge that they're going to put a concrete floor down and put dirt on top of it, and they can move the dirt out as needed. So that'll be a big help. But let's talk about your 2024 state tournament run. And I want to ask you about this because in 23, you wrestled at 165, but in 24, you won it at 152. So were you wrestling up? Did you decide to cut down? Walk us through that.
So during the off season, I lost a lot of weight. I was going back-to-back practices. Right after school, I would go to practice, and then I would leave that practice, drive 45 minutes, and go to Meyer Coughlin and practice. So I was practicing like that 6 days a week for like 4 months. Wow. And I cut so much weight without even trying to cut weight. And then, I didn't really realize how much I weighed until I think it was Central Regionals that I was way under what the weight class was. It was 64, and I think I was weighing like 154 or something like that. And I was just wrestling up. And then this season, I came in and I weighed in, I want to say at like 158 at the beginning of the season. And so I had to wrestle 65. And then as the season started, then again, wasn't even trying to cut weight, but as much as hard as our practices were in the beginning of the season, I was cutting weight. And so before or after Christmas, once they give us the 2-pound allowance, that's when I went down to 52 because I was wrestling and up. And when I went down to 52, it was a lot. It was better for me.
I get it. I understand. And that's like I said earlier, that's just part of it is with wrestling. You have to manage your weight. It's even like I've got to, and even as a referee, people know who I am. They'll come in and they're like, here, they'll hand me the microphone. We want you to announce the tournament. We want you to, you're so used to announcing and being on camera and stuff. I was like, all right, fine. And it's still, I don't want to use the word uncomfortable, but you still kind of have a little hesitation announcing girls' weight classes because I guess it's just the newness of it. And you've been taught your whole life to not, bring that up in a public forum, and you try to be respectful, but then you're thinking, no, they signed up for this. They're the ones out here competing, and if that's what weight class they're in, then that's what weight class they're in, and we gotta get it done. But it's still kind of give it a couple of years and it'll be different. But the first year of actually having a lot of girls out doing it, you kind of want to be as respectful as you possibly could. But the first match, I should say, of your 2024 state tournament, you start off wrestling Alina Fuentes from Louisville Eastern. You win that by a fall in 46 seconds. So you're in, you're out. I'm not going to say don't overexert yourself, but it's always good to get that first one out of the way with a quick pin to go saying break the ice or whatever phrase you want to use, because there's nothing worse than going to a tournament and having to go all 6 minutes with somebody right out of the gate and you're just like, what have I got myself into? The quarterfinals, and we're going to watch this match a little bit later. Probably one of the best matches of the entire day. You wrestle Braylon Maynard from Pike County Central. And normally I would say the score in the video, but we're going to hold it until we actually watch the match. But just understand that of course, everybody, she wins it, she moves on, but we're not going to say the score. Braylon goes on to get third place, and she actually won the most pins in the least amount of time award. And I believe she's a freshman, so if I was in that 152 or close weight class next couple of years, I'll be watching out for Braylon because she's going to be a terror to deal with. She's tough.
She's strong, yeah.
Yeah. The semifinal, you're wrestling Natasha Knight from Newport. You win that by a fall in 2 minutes and 46 seconds. So you win that semifinal match by a pin, second period. After you pin, you get your hand raised. Do you realize, oh my gosh, I'm in the state finals?
I realized it as soon as I pinned her, and it was like I had it in the back of my head that I was going to win. Like I was telling myself that I was going to win it. So I knew I was going to win because I kept telling myself that. But as soon as I pinned her, like there's a picture and my face is just wide open. And I'm like, and I had my arms wide up, and it just felt like, oh my goodness, I'm a state finalist.
You have to send that to us. That way I can, put it into the video for the finished product.
Yeah.
And you get to the finals, and you are supposed to wrestle Sierra Young from Madison Southern. And unfortunately, Sierra had to take a medical forfeit. Did you know beforehand going out she was going to medical forfeit? Had you been told that, or did you find out when you went out there, or how's that go?
I think I got told, I want to say like 10 minutes before the face-off. Whenever I had gotten told, I was in shock more than anything. I'm really good friends with Sierra, and I was more in shock that happened, and it was very unfortunate. But
yeah, and I believe coming in, I think she was ranked number 1 in that weight class, correct? That's what I thought. Because I had I refereed the Region 4 tournament, girls tournament at Montgomery County, and she was in the finals against Braylon Maynard. And everybody was talking about this, could be the potential rematch for the state championship in a couple of weeks. And what I think that was the first time I got to see her wrestle, and I was like, wow, this girl was really impressive, really impressive, the way she was moving and technique she had and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I could see, I'd like to see who's better than she is. I'd like to see, who's going to beat her. And little did we know there was somebody in Henderson County that was up for the task, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to watch Parade of Champions, the face-off, the part on the mat when you get your hand raised for the forfeit, and then your medal ceremony. So then we're going to watch your match with Braylon Maynard. Here you come walking out, the 152. Got your headgear hanging off there. I see that. Got the headphones on. What you got playing in the headphones there?
I think it was something to do with Taylor Swift, I think. Taylor Swift was the most fun.
I got you. There you come, making that long trip out. There you are, getting your hand raised in that pink singlet. Get a nice embrace there. Of course, here's the medal ceremony.
Fourth place from North Florida, Gabriella. Third place from Pike County Central, Braylon Maynard. Your state runner-up in the 152-pound weight class from Madison Southern, Sierra Young. Ladies and gentlemen, your 152-pound state champion from Henderson County, Naomi Santiago.
Here you come, making your trip to the top of the podium. Holding that sign up with pride right there. I love those little signs they give you all. That part of the video ends. So watching the face-off back, the Parade of Champions, getting your hand raised in the medal ceremony, it's got to be a great experience to know that you can always say you were one of the first 13.
Yes. No
matter what happens, you can always say I was one of the first 13. And the Parade of Champions is cool. Everybody comes out. It's such a great visual, something very specific to wrestling. The face-off is something very specific to wrestling. And you come out, and not just what I found, but what our videos show is that you may have a rival school, you may have a team that you just don't like or want to beat or whatever. But when you're in the state finals and you're from their part of the state, or you've traveled, done like a travel team with them or competed or whatever with them, is that geographical issue or whatever, the rival issue goes away because you're from their part of Kentucky's such a diverse state. I mean, you've got where you guys live out in the western part, where I'm from in the eastern, Louisville, Lexington, northern Kentucky, southern Kentucky, and it's so spread out, such a big state. We hardly ever see each other in competition unless it's at the state tournament or unless it's at state duels or something to that effect. So there could be some absolute hammers that live in Henderson County or Union County or Pike County, like with Braylon or whatever, but you never see them until it's state tournament time.
Mm-hmm.
And you come out, you can hear different, people, not just for you, but the whole entire face-off. You can hear different pockets of the arena yelling for people that's not even have somebody in the finals just because they know the girl, or they, like I said, may have been on a travel team with them or something to that effect. So it's really, really, really cool that we have all that footage. When you run out, it's a long john out to the middle of that mat. Even though it's really not that far, it feels like you're running 17 miles out, especially
100%. Yeah.
It does. I got to line up the boys finalist on Friday. Mr. Angola got me to line up the boys finalist, and I was explaining because that was the first time we've had a state tournament at the horse park in 3 years, and everybody that was there, nobody had been in the finals before. Everybody had been at the finals at GRC, and I was having to explain, all right, you're going to run out, run to the center of the KHSAA mat, stay there till your opponent comes, handshake, run off the same side you come. And they were peeking out from behind the curtain, like all the way out there. And I was like, yes, all the way out, run all the way completely out to the center. So, as a referee, even though there's a big crowd there, it's almost like it's silent because the fans it feels like you're, like I said, 5 miles away from everybody. And it's a great venue where the fans are kind of elevated. It's just a great, outside the dirt floor, I think it's a great venue, keeps everybody away. You can have integrity of the match. You're not having 5,000 people down running around, all this kind of stuff. But watching that little clip back there of all that, I know it's only been a week, but does it feel like it's been a long time ago, or does it still replay out the way you remember it? Or talk us through that.
It still doesn't feel real. Like it feels like it has sunken in, but it feels like it hasn't yet. I'll watch some of those state finals videos, at least I think once a day. I'll watch one of the videos once a day. It hasn't fully sunken in, and I can't wrap my head around it completely yet, but I can still remember exactly how I feel in each moment.
I can believe that. And normally we would like to give the winners, a little bit of time to get their, like you said, get their thoughts together, have award ceremonies, because I'm sure at some point you're going to get a state championship ring, as you should. I'm sure Henderson County is going to put something up in their gym and trophy case, put something in the mat room, and we would love to have all that videos. Maybe we'll come back in 20 years and do a 20-year, where are they now, the first girl state champions, and be able to put all that in. But
that would be
we wanted to get the 13 as quick as we can on the channel for the historical aspect, just because we didn't want to miss anybody, and we wanted to keep the momentum of the girls wrestling going as best we could. So we're going to pull up now the match with Braylon Maynard from Pike County Central. And this is probably, I'm going to say, the best match of the entire day. And you had to come through some adversity here. Now, had you wrestled Braylon before?
No, I had never wrestled her.
And I'm not trying to be whatever, but did you know where Pike County was before her?
No, I had never wrestled anybody from Pike before.
Pike County and Henderson County are about as far away as you possibly can get.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Pike County is on the West Virginia border.
Oh, wow.
You're probably about 5 hours or so apart from each other. And this is a great Great State finals or quarterfinals match. And as we're talking, I'm going to pull up my phone and I'm going to see just exactly how far Pike County Central High School is from Henderson High School. So give me 1 second here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's 5 hours and 18 minutes apart, 340 miles.
Wow.
So a pretty good little jaunt between the two schools here. And like I said, you're coming off of a first round pin. This is the quarterfinals. And coming into this match, had you seen Braylon wrestle earlier in the day? Did you get any knowledge of how she wrestled or anything like that?
No, I didn't get any knowledge. I remember I saw her and I smiled at her and I looked at her arms and I was looking at her body and I was like, she's strong, and I could just tell that she was strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I looked at her, I walked away and I was like, all right, time to get locked in, time to go. All
right. Well, that's a good way to do it. So we're gonna get going here. There you are, hopping around, getting loose. So from neutral here, what are we looking to do? What's your bread and butter takedown?
See, I'm a very patient wrestler, and I like to kind of wait my turn a little bit. That's always just kind of how I've wrestled. I kind of like to tie up a little bit just to feel the energy that they have, the strength, and see kind of what they're feeling. Right. And I kind of go off what they give me. I know that's maybe not the best bread and butter, but that's kind of just what works for me.
Hey, and you got to find what works for you. Braylon shoots in, gets a single. You're able to defend.
I think she got
You get a takedown there with a nice throw. She's able to fight off her back. You're trying again, like for some type of like chancellor. Or now the.
I think. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got 3 near fall there, and she got an escape right before she went out of bounds. Got the pink knee sleeve on there, knee pad. Pink's your color,
my favorite color, yes. Right there, I lost the throw, and she got behind right there. Yes.
Yep. She gets her 2.
Yes.
Now, when you get taken down here, it doesn't look like you're in panic mode. Looks like you're trying
I
to
believe she had my arm, and she was trying to work for a wing, and I was trying to get my hips out. Is what I believe I was thinking I was doing.
Yep. Headgear's off. She's trying to step over the head.
Yep.
End of the period. You were probably grateful there that period ended, aren't you?
Yeah. I was just kind of slide around the mat. Slide. Right there, he was telling me my headgear.
Yeah. That's referee Rob Smith.
Yep. Right there, my mouthpiece, I didn't have it in, and I have bottom braces.
Okay.
And, yeah, that's what happened there. My mom had to run and get my bag and bring it down to the coaches that were in the corner.
Yeah. And I was going to say, he hit you with a tech violation.
Yes.
So, crazy, and he's got you on injury time too.
Mm-hmm.
So they get it down there to you. I need my bag.
I saw the time, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just saw the seconds coming down the clock, and I'm like, I need my bag.
Need my bag. Sometime today.
And right there.
Yep, there we go. Brandon brings it over.
I remember my hands were just shaking as I'm trying to get the mouthpiece out of the container. And then when I opened the container, the mouthpiece went flying to the other side of the mat. So I had to reach and extend my arm to get it.
All right, so they stop injury time. And you win the choice. And you defer. She's going to take down. Now, on top, what are we looking to do here? What's your bread and butter, I guess, on top?
On top, I usually like to chop an arm, or I like to go tight waist, far ankle. I'm usually, whenever it's my choice, we usually either do defer or neutral. So top, it's a little iffy for me, but right there I drived her down. And I was trying to keep coverage of her hips, but at the same time work to get that wing in right there. But she managed to get her hips out. And is this
Number 4.
She had a very good base and strong base.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yep, I kind of tumbled a little bit.
I'll say you took a little bit of a tumble. That's all right though. Working out. There you go. She pressures back in.
Yep.
You go out of bounds. Let's go. You're down. There we go.
There we go.
If I referee the match, it's a habit. I'm sorry, fans. If she stands up on you pretty quick and turns in, gets her escape. So now we're tied back up 5-5 with 1 minute to go in the second period. There you go. You hit that head and arm again. And she
managed to get her head out, yes.
To get her head out and step over.
Yep. This is, I think,
now here on the bottom.
Yeah. Right here, I remember I was looking at the clock and I was trying to get one leg up to be able to build up.
There you go. Well, and that's the end of the period.
Yep.
So now it's your choice.
See, I don't.
Stalling red.
Yeah.
Did your mouthpiece come out there? Is that what happened?
Yeah, whenever she took my face over to my arm, my mouthpiece flew out.
All right. You take neutral here. You've had 2 pretty good throws so far, so I could understand wanting to take neutral there. Out of bounds. Neutral. Trying for that throw again. So he hit you for stalling there.
Right
gave
there,
her
I
a
didn't really
point.
understand why.
And Coach Brandon comes to the table, and that's me coming out to the center of the mat. Walking around there, I can tell you're a little agitated.
I was a little bit, just a little bit.
It happens. It happens. It happens. And there you go for the head arm again. You get a takedown. Now, were you, I don't want to use the word good at turning, but were you comfortable maybe like cutting somebody and then trying to get another takedown, or were you looking to turn right here, or?
Right here, I was looking to get back points. I was looking for a turn here.
Right out of bounds. You're on top. 49 seconds to go.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, she's down. You're down, Braylon. There we go.
Right there, I believe I chose neutral, yes.
Yeah, and you let her up. So, which a takedown can tie it.
Right here is where it all kind of goes a little crazy right here.
Yeah, well, you're working, and you get hit for stalling, and that's a point.
The whole arena.
I was going to say, I go back out there, and
in that moment, I can't even describe what I felt. I was so confused, and
yeah. And
I was crying. I didn't understand what was going on, and I keep looking out into the crowd, and I was like, "Why are they booing me?" That's what I kept saying. I was like, "Why are they booing me?" And I look out into the crowd, and I heard my coach from the other side, and he was like, "Naomi, refocus." And I got my mind right, and I remember I looked in the crowd, and I see Malachi Harris, the 157 state champion. He was like, breathe, calm down. And I was like, okay, I'm good, I'm fine.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Malachi's review video pretty soon. And we're neutral. So you're down 3 with 35 seconds left.
I knew I had to go once I saw the 35. I had to. Shoot thin.
Too thin. There you go. You get a takedown. You get your 5 count.
In these last 15 seconds, I vividly remember looking at the clock and seeing that she was flat. And I was like, I remember I was looking at the clock and I was like, I have 2 seconds. I have 5 seconds. I have 1 second left. And it was like, I thought I lost. I genuinely thought that I lost, because when I looked at the score at the last second, it was 9-10. And I'm laying there because I thought that I lost. And then I hear the crowd and I look up and I was like, oh my God, I won. I can do it. I won.
Incredible, right? And of course you win. Excellent match. Absolute excellent match. Best match of the tournament right there. You had to come from behind late. You had to get that 5-point move, and you were able to do it. And it really was a great performance right there on your part. I mean, it really was. You could have easily just rolled after having a couple things not go your way. Mouthpiece, the stall calls there, that you could have easily just been like, it's just not meant for me to happen. But I think you had the mentality. If there's everybody or anybody who's ever in the lion's den, it was you right there. And
Yeah.
you kept calm in it. So excellent job, excellent performance. And like I said, at some point, I'm sure we're going to be doing at least one, if not multiple, review videos with Braylon. So you beat a really great wrestler right there through a lot of adversity. Watching that match back, does that play out the way you remembered it? Was it a blur for a while?
I hadn't fully watched the entire match, like from start to end. I had watched itty bitty clips of it, but it does replay exactly how I thought it played out in my head, how it in the video.
And like it's a great match. It really is. And the just like I said, everything that you had to go through to get to where you won was a I don't want to say nobody couldn't have done it, but that's somebody with some experience. That's a senior, a sophomore, a freshman. They're probably not coming out of that with a win, but somebody that's been wrestling as long as you have. Experience counts sometimes. It really does. So, being one of the first state champions, being one of the first 13, we've met with the first girl that ever made it to this. We done her review video in person, Priscilla Brownfield from Campbell County, 103 pounds, 2006. She had the media frenzy around her. I mean, she had the Cincinnati newspapers, the TV stations, all that documenting her and her run. Of course, the TV stations and all the media and everything was there for your state tournament. But because she was in our, we done our hype video, the Are You Going to Be Next? And I had her and Ashley Courtney from Woodford County. She was the second girl to do it. And I had them to do the clip of, instead of like with the boys, are you going to be next? They said, are you going to be first? So, Naomi, talk to the underclassmen, the middle schoolers, because today, as of this filming today, was the elementary youth state at Boyd County. And I forget how many girls they had there today, like 200 some girls. So, being the first review video, being one of the first 13 Girls State champions in Kentucky, talk to the next generation coming up. Talk to the next generation of Naomi Santiagos. What would you like them to know? What is something that, or more, I guess more than one thing, you can say whatever you'd like, but something that you wish you would know, and just give them some advice on what it takes to get where you're at.
Something that I think that I wish that I knew is that not every loss defines who you are as a wrestler. You know, if you want to get better, you have to do the things that you need to do to get better. You know, you have to work hard to get better, and you have to want to be better more than anybody else. You know, you have to be willing to go the extra mile, you know, and put yourself, you have to have a strong mental character as well. You know, you can't just, you know, be physically strong. Wrestling, you have to be mentally strong, because when you lose, you know, that doesn't define you as a wrestler, but it also, if you don't have the mental strength to understand what that loss means and how to fix it, then it can tear you down, you know. But you have to be mentally strong and have a good support system around you, whether that be coaches or family, to be able to guide you through those losses and lift you back up, you know, and not to be so hard on yourself to the point where it destroys your self-esteem as an athlete. Because you don't want to push yourself or destroy yourself to the point where you hate the sport because everything's not going your way, you know. And you have to be understanding that some days, you know, you're going to be tired and your body's going to hurt. But the more that you want it, the less it's going to hurt, because you want it so much that it's not going to bother you that it hurts, you know?
Yeah. I think it's Muhammad Ali, and I don't remember which which match it was or which championship fight it was or whatever, but he's quoted as saying, "I knew I could train hard for, whatever, 3 months and be a champion forever." And like you were saying, your body's going to hurt sometimes. You're not going to feel like having to cut the weight, or you're not going to feel like doing maybe an early morning session and an after school session or whatever. And that's fine. If you don't want to, somebody else will. I'm sure somebody else will be out there wanting to do it, and somebody else wants that top spot on the podium probably a little bit more than you do. So that's all. If you don't want to do it, fine. Somebody else will be a champion, right?
100%.
And of course, you done what you had to do. You won it. So I like to end the videos giving everybody that we meet with the opportunity to say their thank yous or say whatever they like. So Naomi, the floor is yours.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, and my entire family. My mom is probably the biggest support that I could ever ask for. She's always next to me at tournaments, making sure that I'm eating right, making sure that I'm getting enough sleep, making sure that I'm okay on match days and on prepared to compete and stuff. My coaches, more than anything, Coach Scotty and Coach Pointer, those are my OG coaches, and Coach Henshaw. They were with me when I first started, and they have been a very big and special part of my life. Coach Dunn, Coach Josh, and Coach Cole, Coach Cole, I believe I met him, I want to say my junior year when I came back to the program, and he helped me. And whenever he's in the corner, I think it's the funniest thing because he shows you a wrestling move, and he yells so loudly that you can hear him while you're wrestling, and then he'll need cough drops by the end of the night. But Coach Dunn, he was the one that kind of taught me to be more patient while I wrestled, and he taught me that the more patient that I was and cool, calm, and collected, the better that I wrestled. So that's kind of when I learned and picked up that I just had to be a little bit more patient and not as nervous to try to figure what's going to work. Just be more patient, and then whatever goes, it's going to go, Coach Josh, he came this season, and he is a blessing to the program. He was with the girls for the majority of the season, and he helped coach the boys as well. But he fought for me just like any of the other coaches in the corner. Coach Mike Jurgensen, he comes in and pops in every once in a while. And last year, before the state tournament of 2023, I remember he was helping me prepare for that, helping me watch film and stuff. Coach Bacon, he came in and coached us towards the end of the season, and I couldn't thank him enough. He coached me during the off season, and he's probably one of my favorite coaches ever. He pushes you, and he makes wrestling fun because he's a very funny person. And so the analogies that he makes to demonstrate and explain wrestling, it makes it fun at the same time. The support that I've had this season has been more than I could ask for. I've had support from other teams, and stuff like that. This year has been an emotional roller coaster, just like the state tournament. I think I cried after every match at the state tournament. I cried after every single match, and this season has been a blessing, and I'm just very thankful that I got to be a part of this.
And great representation for the Henderson County wrestling program. So many teams are starting programs, and it's great for whether it's boys or girls state champion is to be able to say, we can do it here. Wherever here is, Henderson County, Simon Kenton, Johnson Central, Wayne County, whatever school it is, Henry Clay, we can do it here. It's not something that's going to elude us. We can get you here. You just got to put the work in. It's not something that's out of our reach. And that's the beauty of adding the sport is a whole new, or girls, I should say, the girls aspect of the sport is a whole new audience is now coming in. There's a joke, a running joke. It's what's called the wrestler's curse. Is not all, but a lot of wrestlers that we've met with that are dads have girls. You know, young girls or wife's expecting a girl or whatever. And they've said in videos, buddy, wrestler's curse, I've got a girl. Well, now she can carry on dad's legacy if that's what she chooses to do, to get out there and, you know, mix it up on the mats. And there's been several, like I know we've done a video with Grant Ullman at his house, Trinity State champion from 2010. I asked him, we started off with him, his wife, and his little girl. And I look at him, I was like, so is she next up in the Ullman? Nope, she's not wrestling. I'm not going to let her on the mat, not even close. And I was like, all right, man, you know, whatever. And afterwards, I'll kind of like, come on, man, you know she's going to wrestle. I'm like, nope, I can't let her wrestle. I can't do it. But when you hear stories like yourself, and I can't wait to get the other 12 girls on the channel. That way we can hear their stories as well. But it was a great move by the KHSAA and a great move by all the schools that started programs, because this could have easily been something that a couple years into it, well, we're just not getting any interest. We're just not seeing the numbers like we thought. We're losing money here on the state tournament. We're not seeing the participation numbers. But I believe the latest numbers that come out, I think girls wrestling in high school is the fastest growing sport in the country. And I can believe it with the number that we had. We had of the 13 weight classes, we had 12 of the 13 were 16 person brackets. The 285 was 8, and I could see that number growing. And the region I was at, I don't know how many teams were there because they combined the regions. I can't tell you how many full brackets we had. So it's growing, and people can now look and say, I want to be like Naomi Santiago. I want to wear that pink singlet like she wore. And you can always have that. You can always be a role model. No matter where you go, what you do, we'll always be able to look up and see you, you know, in the rafters at Henderson County or in the trophy case or now on this, and be like, I want to be like Naomi.
I would say one of the coolest things was because I coached the Red Youth team here at Henderson for one of our youth teams, and I walked in a practice, and I have, I think, like 3 little girls on my team, but I came in a little early, and the blue team was practicing, and there's more girls on that team, and they all came up to me, and they grabbed me by their hand, and they took me to the mat. And then we walked across the mat. They took me to their moms, and they're like, "This is my new best friend." And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And then this little girl, I have her on my team. She just smiles so big when she sees me, and I think just seeing that we have a couple little girls on our Henderson County Youth program, it makes me happy because I know that the program is in good hands. Like, there's more girls coming into the sport.
Absolutely. And before we let you go, I see some really nice trophies and medals and all that behind you. Is that the Naomi wall of accomplishments back there?
Yes, this is the Naomi wall of wrestling. This is the wrestling wall.
I like that.
Yep, we have a couple pictures up there, and then I wish I had been able to put my bracket, but I don't have that much room on my wall. But that's the picture from Adidas Nationals, and then all the trophies and plaques up there.
That's great. I'm glad that you chose to have that as your backdrop. That's kind of cool. So, Naomi, I think we've covered a lot of ground. We've brought a lot of things to light here, and I feel like that we've covered just about everything that we need to cover. Do you have any parting shots, any parting words before we put a bow on this one and wrap it up?
No, just thank you for having me, and thank you for thinking of the girls wrestling states for having us all. So I'm excited to see the video and all the other girls.
Absolutely, me too. I can't wait to get with the remaining 12. So we're going to be we know that the other 12 girls are going to watch this. We know it. So girls, I'll be reaching out to you or your coaches, or if I have your parents or somebody on social media, we're going to be reaching out. We've already talked to several and got a few lined up. It's just getting everybody to where we can schedule about 35, 40 minutes and knock them out. But Naomi, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to look back on this in a couple years and see how far the sports come. And you can always have it. You and your family, the Henderson County program can always have this and say, I did it. Are you going to be next?
Yep.
Are you going to be the next colonel that does it? Well, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see you guys and girls on the mats.
Yep. Thank you.